Hey everyone, this is Dr. Jess, Dr. Jessica Norris, and I am thrilled to be speaking with you tonight. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to tune into my webinar. We're going to go ahead and get started in just a minute. I think we've got a chat function here, and if everybody could just say hi to everyone, and yeah, if you could just say hi, let me know where you're coming from, where you're tuning in from tonight. Sorry, I'm about a minute or two late. We had a little bit of trouble setting up in the office, but we're good to go. And I am really looking forward to speaking with you tonight about how your kids can safely experience the healing powers of aromatherapy. So I'm just going to go ahead. Hello, Wanda from Maine. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm just going to go ahead, turn the webcam off real quick, just finish getting set up. And let me know in the comments if you are looking for specific, hello, Heather from Virginia. If you're looking for any specific information tonight regarding your use of essential oils for kids. Without further ado, I want to go ahead and just show you this disclaimer that I want to, if I don't tell you about this disclaimer, the feds will come after me. We don't want that. So, this presentation is for informational purposes only. None of this has been evaluated by the FDA. I am not claiming to be a medical doctor, but I have a lot of really useful information. But I would never go against anything that your medical doctor would tell you. So always consult with your primary care physician before making any significant changes to your health and wellness routine. Yes, calming on essential oils, focused essential oils. We are going to go cover all of that tonight. Hi, Charlene. How's it going? And we are going to go ahead and begin. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Most important job that I have. Most important title that I have is not PhD, it's mom. It's MOM. And these are my two beautiful children. One is 7, my son Stephen is 7, my daughter Olivia is 5, and I only want the best for them. They mean the world to me. And while my daughter has been blessed with relatively good health, my son has been diagnosed with high-functioning autism. And the thing is that this has affected everyone in my household. But what I've seen over the past couple of years that we've been using essential oils for his symptoms is that we've seen a transformation in him using that and other holistic practices. We work very closely with his doctors that are very supportive of alternative means for treatment, as long as they complement conventional means. But we have used essential oils for him, and we've seen a marked improvement. And they've not only benefited him, we get the added benefit is that they benefit the entire family. And a woman told me yesterday, I'm sorry, Charlene, a woman told me yesterday that children under 2, their lungs couldn't handle them. We're going to go ahead and cover all of these safety questions that you have tonight, because it is so important to practice aromatherapy safely for children. We're going to talk about that tonight. So before we delve into essential oils and the essential oils that you can use for children, let's answer the question, what is an essential oil? And in short, the short answer is that essential oils are naturally occurring volatile aromatic compounds that are found in the seeds, the bark, stems, the roots, the flowers, other parts of the plants. And these are what the oils are what give their plants their distinctive smells. And so we call it the essence of the plant. And they're nature's way of protecting plants. Because a lot of essential oils act as natural pest repellents. but they're also nature's way of promoting pollination. So in addition to their intrinsic benefits to plants, they've been used for thousands of years in healthcare practices, as well as beauty and spa treatments. So, come on. Yeah, there we go. Essential oils are powerful, powerful medicines. And the definition of aromatherapy is the use of these plant-based solutions, these essential oils that are intended to benefit users' mental or physical well-being using different aromas. And these are powerful, powerful medicines. They have the ability to make us relax, to revitalize us. That middle bottom picture, that is how I get out of bed every morning. Just kidding. And rejuvenate. It gives us the ability to be suspended in midair for eternity. I'm just kidding about that, but it can do so much for our well-being in terms of how we live our day-to-day life. And because they're powerful medicines, they should be respected. So aromatherapy can help you as adults, but it also has been used to help your children. And they treat so many common problems in children. They have been used to alleviate stress, to treat coughs and colds and the flu, to treat earaches, stomach distress and digestive issues, headaches, fatigues, and your basic aches and pains. It can help clear sinuses, cleanse and moisturize their skin. And I am not sure what mom doesn't want this, but help your kids get a good night's sleep. So, starting an aromatherapy regimen, whether or not it's for yourself or for your kids, can be very overwhelming. And one of the most common questions that I get from both aromatherapy novices and those with experience is, which essential oil should I buy? Which brand? There's so many. And even within brands, there are over 300 commercially available essential oils. And it can be very overwhelming for the average consumer. And I don't necessarily endorse one essential oil company. I'm not here tonight to sell you kits or to provide any insight on a direct marketing company. That is not my job. My job is to educate you on how to choose an essential oil brand. And in fact, I use several essential oil brands. And the most important thing that you should consider is quality. And quality control tests are everything. So here I'm going to help you make an informed decision. I'm going to provide you some tools, and I'm going to explain to you what types of quality control tests exist. And the reason it's so important is because to date, there is no universal or regulatory definition of essential oils from any governing body in the world. So it's really up to you to do the research to find out which is the best brand to buy. And so these are the types of quality control tests that are performed. This is a good example. Organoleptic testing is a very fancy way of saying the oil smells like it should, or the oil looks like it should. And these are very subjective tests, but what these companies do is they bring in experts to take a look at the clarity, to observe the smell, to observe the color. Very akin to wine experts. So now you have oil experts. You want to make sure that the company that you do buy from performs testing such as heavy metal testing. You want to make sure that there's no arsenic or lead within your essential oils. Also want to make sure that microbial testing is performed. So we're looking for bacteria or fungi. Again, things that we don't want to see within our essential oils. Now, most essential oils will not carry an organic label. So, and that really just speaks to how the plant was grown. But what's most important, and that most important information you can get from an organic label, is that there's no residual pesticides or herbicides, and so laboratory testing should be done to make sure that that's the case. And while it's certainly helpful to have an organic label, a lot of plants, a lot of the sources for these oils are grown in other countries, and they don't observe USDA organic procedures. So you can't slap an organic label on that particular oil. And then more recently, there's been a type of test that's been performed called GCMS, or gas chromatography mass spectrometry. And this provides us with a fingerprint of the essential oil to make sure that the batch is of the utmost quality. And so these are the types of tests that you should look for in an essential oil brand. But the number one rule in determining which essential oil that you should buy is to obtain your essential oils from a reputable supplier. They should be forthcoming with the type of quality control tests that the company performs for their oils. So having said that, no matter which essential oil brand that you choose, safety is paramount. And many people think essential oils are harmless because they are natural and have been used for a long time. And in some cases, that's simply not true. Many essential oils can cause rashes if used improperly on the skin. You can see on the left-hand side, you can see a couple of examples of the results of improper use of essential oils. So the top left shows photosensitivity reaction to citrus oils. So that person put a citrus-based essential oil on their face and neck, hoping to get aromatic benefits from it, and then went out in the sun and got badly burned. Bottom left shows contact sensitivity to the neat application of peppermint oil. And they can be even more serious than just adverse skin reactions. Some essential oils can be toxic if absorbed through the skin or swallowed. Some essential oils can cause seizures if used improperly. Some are poisonous to the liver. Some can even cause hallucinations if ingested or used improperly. And so, even though very few essential oils have been tested for safety the way that FDA-approved medicines have, people systematically continue to ingest essential oils or put them undiluted on their skin or in children's vaporizers. And this is where I come in. This is where my expertise comes in, and I'm going to hopefully show you how to use your essential oils properly, which is especially important for your children. And so there's many different ways to apply essential oils, and for the sake of time and simplicity, I've broken it down into 3 different types of application for essential oils. The first is ingestion, obviously taking it whether or not it's within food or a drink or a capsule, topical application, and diffusion. So we're going to start first with ingestion. Should babies and children ever ingest essential oils? And the answer to that is a resounding no. This is because certain essential oils can be toxic. Remember, a baby or children's liver hasn't been fully developed yet. It doesn't metabolize things the same way that adults do. And so we really need to be careful about children ingesting essential oils. So, you have to make sure that if you are an essential oil user or if you're performing aromatherapy on a regular basis, that you store your essential oils out of reach of your children. If your child does ingest an essential oil, make sure you do not induce vomiting. Call poison control immediately with the information of what essential oil they've ingested and how much. And if they direct you to the emergency room, make sure you bring the bottle of essential oil with you so that the medical professionals know what they're dealing with. So, more commonly, more safely, we can people perform diffusion of essential oils. So can we safely diffuse them with our children in the room? And the answer is yes. You need to do it in a proper way. So the rules of thumb are no more than 3 to 5 drops of an essential oil at one time. Use only one single oil at a time at first. So avoid blending oils yourself in front of children until you know how your child reacts to that specific oil. How you react to an oil is not going to be the same as how someone else reacts to an oil, and not going to be the same as how your children are going to react to the oil. So you want to keep an eye on that. Only introduce one new oil at a time before you start blending away. And the rule of thumb is to diffuse for 15 to 20 minutes twice a day. Okay, moving on to topical application. How do I safely apply essential oils to my kid's skin? Never apply essential oils neat to the skin. Always dilute. We're going to go over some dilution guidelines in just a minute. Always use carrier oil. So carrier oil is derived from fatty part of the plant, like seeds or nuts. And, I'll give you some examples that are shown on the right. You can do coconut oil or apricot oil, jojoba oil. These do not absorb as quickly, and they help protect the skin from any adverse reactions that essential oils may cause if you put it on skin neat. Avoid using essential oils on any mucous membranes, and just basically keep the oils away from the face in general. We're going to go ahead, again, same as diffusion, introduce one essential oil at a time until you know how your child reacts. And here's a nifty little chart, and you'll see that the dilution levels are very low. Whereas, a neat essential oil is equivalent to 100%. You can see that we're working in the 0.2, 0.5% ranges for children. In fact, just to give you an idea, this is for children, this is for babies aged 3 to 6 months. This is children, babies over 6 months old, children over 2 years old, and children over 6 years old. And most essential oils are diluted even for adults. So take that into consideration when you're performing aromatherapy for yourself. So let's start, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with which essential oils are safe for babies and children over 3 months. And it's kind of, again, these are little babies that haven't fully, that are not fully matured, and so they're not fully developed. So we are limited to which essential oils that we can use, and really limited to the 4 that I've got here, and that's lavender, dill, German chamomile, and Roman chamomile. And before I go on, I just want to make sure that no one has any pressing questions on what I've already said, because I'm looking at the chat line and I don't see anything, so that's great. Okay. So I'm going to go through each one quite quickly, and I'm going to share with you some recipes on how these oils can be used for your children. So starting with lavender. Lavender is a very versatile, very well-tolerated oil for most people. Most people love lavender. It improves mood, reduces stress, supports brain function. It can help heal burns and cuts, can relieve headaches, and very importantly, can improve your sleep, and can improve sleep for your child. Now, there's 2 types of chamomiles. There's German chamomile and Roman chamomile. Now, they're distinctly different in chemical makeup. but they're both very useful oils. German has anti-inflammatory action that has been shown to restore and soothe irritated skin, burns, bruises, and other skin conditions. And then there's Roman chamomile, which fights anxiety, reduces symptoms of insomnia. This is one I use all the time. Supports digestive and heart health, and it's definitely gentle enough for children. And then there's dill, which is usually used for digestive support, specifically for indigestion or constipation. But it also has a calming and soothing effect that helps reduce nervousness and releases anxiety. And there's actually been a number of studies that have been done on the effects of dill essential oil with children with ADHD. And so, again, you're dealing with a very low maximum concentration for topical application. But dill has also been used in recipes like this one to help manage colic symptoms. And so what you can do is just simply add a drop of dill essential oil to 1 to 2 tablespoons of sweet almond oil, which is your carrier oil, and then you can just rub the baby's tummy very gently with the prepared oil. And then turn the baby over, just gentle circular movements, rub the baby's back. And so this has been proven, or variations of this recipe has been proven to help soothe the baby during colicky episodes. Roman chamomile, again, with its soothing properties and its anti-inflammatory properties, has been used as a teething remedy. And so, very simply, you're adding a drop of Roman chamomile essential oil to a tablespoon of carrier oil of your choice, sweet almond, coconut, jojoba, whatever you've got. And then just use the 1 drop of this mixture to trace and gently massage the jawline all the way up to the temples as needed. So again, gentle enough for a baby to use. And then there's a baby massage blend that I developed based on having 2 kids. And I still use a variation of this recipe today, not only to help my children sleep, but to help my husband and I sleep. We absolutely love the combination of Roman chamomile and lavender, and this makes a terrific baby massage blend. And this was one that you can use on a daily basis. That's not really, it's not necessary to use on an as-needed basis. It's just very important that you avoid the eye and genital region. But again, this is a terrific combination, and it's, again, gentle enough for children. So now, once a child is over 6 months old, the number of oils that they can tolerate increases, as long as that it's a healthy baby. The number of oils that the child can tolerate now increases, and you can now introduce citrus fruit or citrus essential oils to their aromatherapy regimen if you so desire. You can increase the concentration of these oils as well as the oils that I previously mentioned for babies 3 months and no older. There is something, as far as citrus essential oils are concerned, you do have to be careful that you avoid exposure to the sun after use, because remember, I mentioned phototoxicity, and all citrus-based essential oils are potentially phototoxic. And so, again, you just want to make sure that you're shielding the baby's skin from UV rays. But each has its own characteristics. Bergamot is one that I use quite often. It releases emotional anxiety, it aids in digestion, soothes skin irritations, and works as a sedative. It's also antibacterial, has antibacterial activities, or studies have shown that. It relieves stress, but it also is used to reduce cough, as is lemon. Lemon also helps with nausea and digestion, and it's antimicrobial, and so that's why you see lemon in a lot of natural cleaning products. It's because of its antimicrobial activity. Grapefruit, great for disinfecting surfaces as well. It also stimulates the immune system, and it curbs sugar cravings. A lot of people use grapefruit, a lot of adults use grapefruit essential oil to help curb their appetite. And finally, mandarin. It reduces anxiety and is used in several pain relief blends. And so each one has its own unique properties that can be used in different recipes. But again, we're keeping concentration quite low for babies over 6 months. And you can see that we've really expanded the number of essential oils that can be used for babies once they reach 6 months of age. And these are just some of the more commonly used essential oils that there are, even for adults. So tea tree is one of the top antibacterial oils, and it's known to fight skin conditions. People use it all the time to fight fungal infections. It's used for athlete's foot, and it's used quite often for scalp treatments, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. Then we've got palmarosa, which is great for relieving stress, and anxiety and nervous exhaustion. And one of the blends that I make and that I sell is one that incorporates palmarosa with geranium as an anti-anxiety blend that doesn't necessarily sedate you the way that lavender might. And so, again, love palmarosa. It's great to blend with. Sandalwood, also relaxing and calming. It's great as a memory booster. And you'll see that it's used in a number of recipes for that reason. It's anti-inflammatory, so that it is good to treat minor irritations such as insect bites. And, one second. Another commonly used one is cedarwood. And cedarwood is great for improving focus. It has anti-inflammatory agents, reduces skin irritations, and also fights fungal infections. It's also a natural insecticide. You'll see it in several recipes that incorporate cedarwood to fight insect infestations. And finally, there's geranium. Geranium is one of my favorite to use because it's such a great stress reliever. It also minimizes inflammation, and it's used in a lot of skincare products. So, and again, one of the blends that I make is a blend of geranium and palmarosa for an anti-anxiety blend. So that's a terrific one. And so now we start looking at ways to remedy colds for your infants. And this is good. This is a good recipe for your diffuser. You're adding to your diffuser 2 drops of tea tree, lemon, and lavender. And you really know, and again, this is after you've tested each one individually in the diffuser to make sure that the baby reacts to it that there's no adverse reactions. And again, diffusing this in the baby's room is going to help keep the germs at bay. 15 to 20 minutes twice a day is plenty. And it also can be made into a roller ball with this recipe using a topical application. And so, again, you're using the same ratio of the 3 oils. And you're adding it to 2 tablespoons of a carrier oil. And again, it doesn't matter which one, coconut, jojoba, those are all great, sweet almond, apricot, whatever you've got. And basically what you're doing is you're going to add the essential oils to the carrier oil. You're going to top it off to the top, and use a small amount of the mixture to massage your chest and your back and your abdomen. Just make sure you're not putting it on any mucous membranes and not on the baby's face. And one issue that I had with my son was cradle cap. And so this is a great remedy for cradle cap. Again, because you're putting lemon in it, you're going to make sure that you're not putting the baby out in the sun after you do this. But you're mixing this all together in a carrier oil and taking a small amount, massaging it onto the affected areas where cradle cap is occurring. I guess about twice a day, and then you comb it away after a few treatments. And yeah, I spelled treatments wrong, and that's authenticity, folks. But right, so let's move on to children that are over 2 years old, and now we can expand our library of essential oils that they can use even more. And we start off with lime, and again, lime is potentially phototoxic essential oil, so you want to avoid exposure to the sun after use. But it is stimulating and refreshing. It relieves stress and exhaustion and anxiety. What I like to do is I like to mix it with spearmint, and it is a very refreshing blend, and it's great for the summer. Next is frankincense. Now, this is an oil that comes from the resin of the tree, and holistic experts have claimed quite a few health benefits based on the testimony of its long history dating back to biblical references. It reduces inflammation, skin discoloration, imperfection, promotes feeling of wellness, relaxation, improves memory. Great oil to have on hand, not just for your kids, but for yourself. Next is patchouli. Great for fighting depression. It's also got a good amount of antifungal activity, and so it will stop fungal growth. It's got anti-inflammatory activity, so it will reduce inflammation, enhances mood. It's been used to treat skin conditions, and it works as a bug repellent. Often you'll see patchouli in recipes that are bug repellents, and so for natural bug repellents. And then vetiver, and we're going to talk a little bit about vetiver tonight, because that's one that I use for my son. It soothes anxiety and nervousness. It has been used to treat symptoms of autism and ADHD. There's been a number of studies done with vetiver, and it's a great oil for the brain and emotional health. And so you can see that I've kind of split these into two different categories. The green ones are your hot oils, and we're going to talk about what a hot oil is in just a second. But now safe for children under 2 years are ginger, oregano, and thyme. Ginger is typically, well, let me actually start with eucalyptus and peppermint. This is the first time we're really mentioning these two. They're very commonly used. They're very versatile oils. Eucalyptus is mainly used for a number of respiratory ailments, and peppermint is used for a variety of ailments. And you will see peppermint in a ton of recipes. There is a lot of controversy about the use of these two oils, and we're going to get to that in the next slide. In terms of ginger, oregano, and thyme, these are hot oils. And again, we're going to talk about what a hot oil is in just a second. Ginger is the friendliest oil for gut and digestive health, but it's also used to treat respiratory problems and inflammation and anxiety. Oregano has many similar characteristics to ginger. It's also used to treat digestion and respiratory problems, but it also has a distinct antifungal activity, so that it has been used as a remedy for athlete's foot and toenail fungus. And finally, thyme treats respiratory conditions, it has antibacterial activity, and also serves as a natural bug repellent. Now let's talk about the controversy behind peppermint and eucalyptus. These are two oils that contain constituents that can slow breathing down to dangerous levels and may cause neurological damage to young children. And in peppermint, that constituent is methanol, and in eucalyptus, it's 1,8-cinyl. And so you really have to be very careful about using these oils properly. That doesn't mean that they can't be used. And I'm getting this information from a scientist named Robert Tisserand, who actually wrote a textbook about essential oil safety, and it took about 10 years to compile all the information. So it's not exactly a light read, but it is a lot of information. And according to Dr. Tisserand, Robert Tisserand, children between the ages of 2 and 3 should avoid the use of peppermint essential oil altogether. For as far as eucalyptus, globulus, and radiata, you notice I'm putting the Latin names in there because there are many different types of eucalyptus. So we're just focusing on these two. These are the two safe ones to use that have really the most therapeutic value. You can topically apply up to 0.5% and diffuse 1 to 2 drops. Again, making sure that you're not putting the eucalyptus near the child's face. For children that are 3 to 6 year old, now you can start diffusing peppermint with care, 1 to 2 drops maximum, and apply topically up to 0.5% concentration. The eucalyptus, globulus, and radiata can be diffused, and we can apply that topically up to 1%. If you follow these guidelines, and I think these guidelines err on the side of caution, but with your children, you should err on the side of caution. Now we'll talk about hot essential oils. And you can see that what we consider hot essential oils is listed here. These need to be diluted to half the recommended strength that I've listed on the other slides. And even if we do that, always perform a patch test using the diluted oil before the topical application. And the reason for this is because it has been known, if you use these oils, to have an increase in likelihood of adverse skin reactions, and which is something that you want to avoid. Less so much with the ones listed below, but it still can happen. And so, again, for ginger, oregano, thyme, if we say it's, in the previous slides, if we said it was a 0.5% dilution, it really should be 0.25%, et cetera, et cetera. All right, now having said that, let's come up with a fun recipe for lice shampoo for kids. What you can do, and lice infestations happen everywhere, and it has nothing to do with bad hygiene. But what you can do is just add a couple of drops to tea tree essential oil for each ounce of, and I recommend fragrance-free and dye-free shampoo. Replace the lid and shake to mix it. Making sure that you shake the shampoo before each use, and just use it as you normally would. The first time you do it, you really have to keep your eye out for any allergic reactions. And this is not something that you as an adult should use if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, but this is just as effective as anything that you'll buy in the store. And there have been studies to show that tea tree will kill lice. So again, this is not a preventative measure. This is something that you use if there's already been an infestation. Okay, and so our final, we'll move on now to children that are over 6 years old. I've mentioned eucalyptus and peppermint again because now you can increase your maximum dilution to 1.5%. And for fennel and nutmeg, for fennel and all other oils that have previously been mentioned, with the exception of anything that says dilute more, you can now use a 3% maximum concentration. Now, fennel is known to be a potent and powerful aid for digestive health. It can also have a relaxing effect on your muscles. And so this includes muscles in the intestinal region. And nutmeg, another one of those hot oils. So we're going to dilute that down to half of the recommended concentration. So it's going to be a 1.5% maximum concentration. This can help relieve muscle pain, swelling, inflammation, remove exhaustion, and treat anxiety. And so, again, another great oil. And now I want to share with you something that I had shared on my Facebook, page the other day. And this is a bug bite remedy for kids, natural bug bite remedy. And if you haven't liked me on Facebook yet, please do so, at Doc Jess Norris. And that's DOC, Jess Norris. But to, basically, you're making a roller bottle, and you're adjusting the amount of, oh, I think I made a mistake. Okay, so that is a mistake. That should actually say 4 drops of lavender essential oil and 1 drop of peppermint. And then for children ages 6 to 9, that's 6 drops of lavender essential oil and 3 drops of peppermint. And so make sure that if you're writing this down, make sure you correct that. But it is a lavender peppermint blend, not vetiver and peppermint, because that's not going to work. But yeah, shake well, apply to the bug biter sting, and I'll make sure that I post the fixed version in Facebook. And this is the blend that I use with my son. Again, for those of you who are tuning in, he has high functioning autism, and this helps him to focus. It's a mixture of vetiver, frankincense, cedarwood, and sandalwood. And what you can do is, and again, I've shown you 2 different recipes adjusting for age appropriateness. But I think that the sandalwood is optional because that's quite an expensive oil. Does make it smell a little bit better, but it I have used vetiver, frankincense, and cedarwood, and I've had very similar results with that. Well, we've seen very similar results with that. So yeah, some great recipes. And finally, once a child turns 10 years old, as long as he or she is relatively healthy, most of these essential oils that I've talked about are safe to use, and most essential oils in general are safe to use at the maximum recommended concentrations. Here are the maximum recommended concentrations for eucalyptus and peppermint. Always be wary of allergies and adverse reactions. And now that you can start incorporating rosemary into your child's essential oil regimen. The rosemary is used most often for memory enhancement. There have been studies to show that essential oils, that rosemary essential oil has improved both children and adults' memory up to 75%. And this was published, I believe, in the British Medical Journal a few years ago. So, good information there. And finally, one last recipe that I want to share with you tonight is this natural vapor rub for kids. You may ask yourself, why would I make my own vapor rub when I can just go to the store and buy some? Well, the answer is that commercially available vapor rubs contain chemicals that can irritate your lung, known as turpentine and petroleum. Petroleum also it's often contaminated with a highly toxic compound that's linked to cancer. So, avoid petroleum if you can. There's a new greaseless formula on the market that's even worse because it contains parabens and formaldehyde releasing chemicals, and it's just gross. So, here I've given you 3 different recipes based on age. It's very easy to make it. All you're going to do is add some essential oils to shea butter that's melted down, and you can buy shea butter just about anywhere. You can buy it online. It's very readily available. Store it in a cool area with a tight-fitting lid when not in use, but works very well. Works very effectively for kids when they have coughs and colds. So yeah. So what did we learn today? That all essential oils are not created equal. Make sure you're paying attention to the quality control tests that are performed for each brand that you're looking at. Safety is paramount, especially for children. Quality of your essential oil is important for you, but it's very important for your children as well. But you want to make sure that you're using essential oils properly, using age-appropriate dilutions. You want to make sure that you are that you're using the right essential oils. And the reason that, and what I've given you tonight is not it's not the full list of all essential oils. It is, we would be here for days going over each and every one, and I don't want to overwhelm you with information. But what I want to do is I want to give you the basics so that when you inevitably look online for some recipes, you'll be informed as to whether or not the recipe that you're looking at is appropriate for use with your child. And that's really what this comes down to. Just be smart about it. It's up to you to do the research. And I'd love to help you in any way I can. And so I offer consultations. And tonight I am offering a webinar special. I do phone consultations. That's how I make my bread and butter and how I buy my oils. So I will help you by providing aromatherapy solutions to your personal health and wellness issues as well as those of your family. I do one-on-one appointments over the telephone, mostly nights and weekend availability because everybody works during the day, and I want to be able to help you out any way I can. So I have an offer, and I will publish that now. My normal going rate is $100, but it's tonight, because you've attended my webinar, and for anybody who attends my webinar, is $75. And it is a deal because I have a lot of knowledge, and I understand moms. I understand what I'm passionate about helping people. And I want to just end this tonight with this quote from Robert Tisser, and he has inspired me to really delve into the science behind this. Aromatherapy is a caring, hands-on therapy which seeks to induce relaxation, increase energy, and reduce the effects of stress, and to restore lost balance to mind, body, and soul. And this happens even when we're children. And I can help your children overcome their health issues and live the best life possible. And this is my why. This is why I do it. These 2 kids right here, they are everything to me, and I would only want the best for them, and I would treat you and your children the way I would treat them. So, having said that, I end this presentation. I thank you all so much, and I've gone over, and I'm really sorry about that. But thank you for the people that have stuck around for the entire thing. I've got a couple of minutes, I guess, for questions. But if you have anything that is about a specific condition, I would urge you to schedule a consultation with me. But yeah, hit up the chat for any questions if you want. And again, I thank you very much. And if there are no questions, I will say thank you for attending. Okay. All right. Well, you guys have a great night. The offer will be good for 24 hours. If you need to email me any short questions that I can answer, I will post my email address here. So feel free to email me. And I thank you for attending. Have a great night.